Are you and your thyroid gland on good terms? It plays a huge role when it comes to producing hormones that are vital to your overall health. In this video, learn more about various types of thyroid disorders, what some of the more obvious symptoms look like, and how to get your thyroid levels checked, and simple tips for keeping the gland happy. So, how many people have thyroid disease? Now, you might not always see it, but thyroid disease is somewhat common. About 20 million people in the United States deal with some sort of thyroid disorder. Women are more likely to have a thyroid disorder than men. 1 in 8 will deal with thyroid diseases in their life, and they are 5 to 8 times more likely than men to have thyroid problems. Thyroid disorders can strike at any age. Even children are at risk. In fact, approximately 37 out of every 1,000 children have some sort of thyroid disease. We keep mentioning thyroid disease, but what does that mean exactly? Well, when we say thyroid disease, think of it as an umbrella term. Thyroid disease could mean hyperthyroidism, an overactive thyroid that produces too much thyroid hormone. Hypothyroidism, an underactive thyroid that produces too little thyroid hormone, usually caused by an autoimmune disorder. Hashimoto's thyroiditis, also known as chronic lymphocytic thyroiditis. Thyroid cancer, postpartum thyroiditis, often a temporary condition. Graves' disease, an autoimmune disorder that causes the gland to produce too much thyroid hormone. Congenital hypothyroidism, meaning it's present from birth. Thyroid nodules, technically not a thyroid condition, but rather a sign of a thyroid disease. An underactive thyroid gland and an overactive thyroid gland are the most common types of thyroid disease, and Graves' disease is the most common cause of hyperthyroidism, affecting about 70% of people with an overactive thyroid. Now, does family history play a role? Yes, if you have a family history of thyroid disease, you might be more likely to have problems with your thyroid hormones. Some research suggests that up to 67% of circulating thyroid hormone and thyroid stimulating hormone, or TSH, is genetically determined. However, additional genes and mechanisms of genetic influence are yet to be discovered. So, what does the thyroid gland do? With so many types of thyroid disease and the fact that it seems so much can go wrong with the thyroid hormones, it must have a pretty big job to do, right? Indeed, it does. The thyroid is a butterfly shaped gland located in the front of your neck. It's part of the endocrine system and produces hormones that impact many of your body's functions. Now, there are 3 hormones produced in the thyroid gland: thyroxine or T4, triiodothyronine T3, and calcitonin. T4 and T3 are the major metabolism regulating hormones. Calcitonin is not considered a thyroid hormone since it does not regulate metabolism, but rather your body's calcium levels. Your thyroid hormone levels play a role in several things, including your energy level, body temperature, metabolism, brain development, and your muscles and bones. Remember that the thyroid gland is only one part of the endocrine system, which is responsible for releasing hormones into the bloodstream. If one endocrine gland is malfunctioning, it can affect the others, which include the adrenal glands, pituitary gland, hypothalamus, pancreas, parathyroids, pineal gland, ovaries, and testes. For instance, if you've got an underactive thyroid producing too little thyroid hormone, another part of the endocrine system might try to pick up the slack to compensate for it, which then throws that gland out of balance. So, what are the signs of thyroid disease? Because there are several types of disorders, common symptoms of thyroid gland problems can vary. Here's a brief overview of the symptoms of the 2 most common types of thyroid disease. Hypothyroidism can cause fatigue, pain in the joints and muscles, dry skin, dry hair, hair loss, depression, low sex drive, a slower heart rate, unexplained weight gain, irregular menstrual periods, fertility problems, difficulty withstanding cold. Hyperthyroidism can cause trouble sleeping, muscle weakness, diarrhea, fatigue, low sex drive, excessive thirst, mood swings, anxiety, or nervousness and irritability. If you suspect you might have a problem with your thyroid gland, it can be difficult to determine what specific thyroid problem you're dealing with since there is some overlap in the symptoms. The only way to better understand your thyroid hormone levels and thus what disease you've encountered is with blood work. A blood test is the best way to make sense of your thyroid symptoms and determine the steps to improving your thyroid health. eNational Testing's Thyroid Health Panel measures your TSH, free T4, and T3, which will provide insight into your thyroid condition. Results are available in about 1 to 2 business days, and you'll have the opportunity to speak with a clinician afterward to go over your test results and next steps. We have more than 2,700 locations nationwide. Find a testing center near you and order your test today. Now, how can you improve thyroid gland health? While tales of the hypothyroidism diet aren't really backed by science, we do know that the thyroid gland needs iodine to create the thyroid hormones. This is why thyroid disorders are most common in areas like Southeast Asia, where coincidentally, iodine deficiency is also common. It has to do with the climate and the way that iodine is leached from the soil. In the US, we typically get enough iodine in our diet, so this is a very uncommon cause of low thyroid levels. Much of the salt we use is iodized. However, if you determine that you have an iodine deficiency, seafood, eggs, milk, and milk products are all excellent sources. You can also take an iodine supplement, but speak with your healthcare provider first. In this case, too much of a good thing can be a bad thing. In addition to minding your diet, finding healthy ways to cope with stress can help support the thyroid gland. Stress can make thyroid disorders worse. Graves' disease and Hashimoto's thyroiditis, for example, can trigger an increase in thyroid hormone and a decrease in TSH levels. Finally, you should prioritize maintaining a healthy body weight. Obesity can disrupt your thyroid hormone levels and contribute to other endocrine and metabolic diseases. Thyroid diseases are common, but here's the good news: treatable. If you suspect you're experiencing a thyroid problem, order a panel with eNational testing or speak with your healthcare provider or an endocrinologist. They may recommend a physical exam and a review of your medical history, plus a blood test.